moment to shine on Happy Camper Life. We're loving, living, and learning online on Happy Camper Life.
Hey guys, I am Courtney Ortiz, and we are back for a second season of My Camp. Thank you so much. You're joining me live again here in the Girls HC. And like I said, this is a really big deal. This is the first episode of our second season. And I don't usually pay attention to like views or followers, but tonight I happened to go on YouTube because if you didn't know, all of our podcasts are available on YouTube. And I just started tallying, and we've had over 2,500-ish views of the My Camp podcast. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate my supporters. Appreciate my dad. He's probably like half of those views. Big puffy heart, all of you. So I'm really excited to kick off season 2 of My Camp with this dynamic duo, Brienne and Sam, Sam and Brienne, the director and assistant director of Camp NAC, located in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Guys, welcome to the HC. I'm happy to have you today. Can you guys just introduce so we know who's Sam and who's Brienne?
Yes, I'm Brienne. I am the camp director.
And I'm Sam. I'm the assistant camp director.
So give me a little bit of background behind Camp NAC, a little bit of history. It's still kind of a newish camp in terms of like camps go in the histories of camp. So give me a little background.
So camp started off with roughly 100 kids in a basketball gym. And it was like standard, like one typical camp for all of these campers. And throughout the years, we started to realize that a lot of the kids aren't the same, obviously. So they wanted different styles of camp. And over the years, we decided to incorporate now we have over 75 unique camps that we offer to children. So it's grown from 100 children to close to 500 kids a week at this point. And we learned that talking to parents and talking to children, so we try to make our camp more of a luxury style camp. So we're custom building summer around our parents' needs, in addition to the kids' interest as well. So they can select one camp per week. They can go 13 weeks, which is an anomaly in our camp in this area as well.
100%. And it's an anomaly anywhere.
Yeah.
So Camp NAC stands for Newton Athletic Club. So Camp NAC is directly related and like as a collaboration or partnership with the Newton Athletic Club, correct?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we work out of the Newtown Athletic Club. We have a different camp building during the summer, but for instance, we have our schools out camps during the school year, which we'll have like Monday, Tuesday in the Newtown Athletic Club that we'll have our camps with. So we have a rare ability to have over like 40,000 square feet of indoor turf in addition to the entire NAC building, which is incredible.
I mean, I was like doing my research on your website and I was really blown away by the facilities. I mean, it's a day camp, right? So this isn't an overnight camp, but I mean, the top notch looking, like what adult would not have a great time there? I mean, there was a pool, I saw a lazy river, a water slide. I mean, was there a trampoline park or a trampoline park at your camp?
We have like a full gymnastics facility in the club itself. So we get to utilize that with our camps constantly throughout the summer.
One of the things that I thought you said that was really interesting to me was that you're like creating more of a very like luxury or concierge, if you really want to get fancy with the vocabulary there, camp for parents. Cause you can either go like a full summer or you can go by week, right?
Yeah.
Because I know, I mean, I'm a mom, I have 3 kids. And for those kids, parents that like don't send their kids to it, like a traditional sleepaway, I mean, what you're going to do with your kids over the summer becomes like a major point of anxiety, probably starting in like February, March, you'll start here. What are you doing with your kids this summer? What are you going to do with your kids this summer? Where camp are you going to send them to? So to know that there is almost like a one-stop shop where they can service, I mean, I hate to use the word service, but that can provide an amazing summer activities for their kids based on what they like Like that is really incredible. So take me through some of the options that you have in these specialty camps for the kids.
So for our 3 to 5-year-olds, we have 2 options. We have a half-day program. So that's nice for the families. They can either send them 9 to 11:30. They can extend the day till 1, or they can extend the day till 3. That's more of like a preschool like setting, like a slower pace. So those are the kids that if they've never went to camp, we'll kind of encourage them to start with. We also offer a typical day camp we call NACsters. So every day is a different theme, and that goes for ages 3 to 12. We do send them on a field trip a week, which is really, really awesome. And then in terms of specialty camps for ages 6 to 12, we offer creative arts, we offer cooking, we offer STEAM, we do leisure sports, competitive sports, and then we have a teen program for ages 13 to 15.
Wow. Tell me about your teen program. What kinds of things do you guys do with those kids? Because those are the kids that kind of, can be like, oh, we're too cool for camp. Like, how do you get them to buy in?
So the teens at our camp, they go on 2 field trips a week, which I think is like one of the biggest things. A lot of the teen programs around here, they do one field trip a week. So we offer 2. Usually one of those field trips is also like a 6 p.m. pickup because they're going a little bit further away. The teens, we also give like their own activity calendar with things that we think they would find interesting. We do like karaoke with them. They do like team building challenges. They get to use different parts of the club and building that other campers don't get to use to make them feel, like the cool kids.
I get it. 100%.
We have like a separate area of the pool that's called the teen pool, make it as cool as we can for them. We have some staff that work with high schoolers and middle schoolers. So they really help us build, their curriculum and schedule based off what they hear all year that the students want. A big way that we do incorporate curriculum in our activities is just asking kids, hey, what do you like to do? And we throw it on the schedule. We want them to come and want to do the things that we have planned for them. So we pick their brains a lot throughout the year to build that.
Go directly to the source, right? What better way? I mean, you can send a million questionnaires to the parents, but really to really know what the kids want, you got to ask the kids. Mm-hmm. So you do a 13-week, you offer 13 weeks of camp. So that schedule, I mean, it's very different from the up north. I live down south. So tell me about your summer calendar.
So we'll start June 5th this year and end September 1st. So the first 2 weeks is a little later. It's more of a younger population. I would say the preschool like setting. That's kind of like transferring out of kindergarten into like a camp setting. And then the last week is some of the private schools as well. Okay. So the big weeks are weeks 3 through 13, I would say. And those are when we are going on the field trips. The big things are happening. But yeah, I mean, we do 13 weeks and we have parents asking us to have schools out camps like the weeks leading up to that as well, just because
I bet
schools are off,
Do you do an after school program, or is it just strictly like a summer or when there's like a day off from school?
Just as of right now, when the school is off, we're not a licensed daycare. That is something that we are working towards to create our own kind of building that would offer that throughout the year. But so right now we're doing schools out camps. We'll have like camp sleepovers. We just ran a Halloween themed one and get the kids.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is super neat. And also with the teens, we started offering teen events once a month. So we're keeping that engagement. You know, in addition to to get the kids to want to come, I know this is kind of off topic, but we do postcards in the summer, which are so incredibly cute. The kids will say my favorite part of camp is swimming. So we send those out during the year to get kids engaged, and the parents will send us pictures of the kids hanging the postcards up in their room, and my kid cannot wait to come to camp. And then we'll send them our New Year's Eve photo that says enrollment now, Happy New Year. All right,
I'm making a note. I'm taking a note. Okay,
yeah,
I'm doing this. I love that idea. Yeah. Really, oh my gosh, I think that is so great because, it is keeping that engagement during the year. We go, I go to camp, my camp, we go to a traditional sleepaway camp up in northeastern Pennsylvania, and I'm in South Florida, so the camp draws from kids up in the Northeast, and, they're getting together throughout the year, having bunk sleepovers, and it makes it difficult for us. We make an effort. We're going up to New York in 2 weeks. We're very excited, but to keep that engagement, with those like day campers with their camp friends. It's just about camp friends, right? Like camp friends are the best friends. And I think that, you know, from a business standpoint, to keep that engagement and that momentum going through the school year, but also, you know, for their own lives, right? Like helping them. You know, one of the things I feel like I've learned about camp, you know, I didn't go as a kid, I'm now going as an adult, is that at least for the kids, it really almost provides for them like a secondary safety net, a secondary family of, you know, if your kids at Camp NAC are going back year after year. I mean, it's really an incredible second network that the camp community provides for its own. So I just spoke a lot. So high five to you for the postcards. Long story short, I love it. And I am making note of that. Also, guys, I want to give you a huge congratulations. I should have introduced you with this, but you guys are have been voted the best youth summer camp in Bucks County. Yeah. Congratulations. Like that's a really, you know, you were making mention about like getting the license for daycare and having your own building. I'm like, oh my God, that in itself is like a whole other animal and you know, that you'll be creating. But I mean, it's just really so incredible. So talk me through, girls, what is a typical day like at Camp NAC? Talk me through it. Get me excited.
So typical day at Camp NAC always starts with our check-in process. And we literally compare our check-in process to Disney World, because as the parents are driving in, we go through this in staff training. We are smiling, we are waving, there's music bumping, we are hyped for the kids to get here. We get them out of the car, we get them inside. All the kids are getting checked in, you know, getting their colored wristbands for the day, prepping for the day, everything like that. So that is what check-in looks like. So we always start the day off on a good note, a high note, with the waving. There's dancing, everything like that.
Do you have like a dance that you do? Do you have like a NAC dance?
We don't have a NAC dance. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We do the wave. That's like one of our things. When it's
Okay.
like a little low traffic time, we'll all do the wave outside. And then sometimes on special occasions, we dress up like Superhero Day or Halloween in July. We are out there, Spider-Man, Beauty and the Beast, Belle. It is like a big deal. And like,
gotta dress up at camp, like always gotta have a costume on hand.
Absolutely.
Like, that's part of our packing. Like you this is an old lady costume, you might need it for camp. Let's pack it in the bag. So yeah, all right, so I interrupted. So you're waving, you're checked in, and then what happens?
So after the kids get checked in, depending on the camp that you're in, because we run like 10 to 12 camps a week, is where you split off with your group to start your daily activities. So some camps check in, they go right to the pool. Some camps check in, they go to the turf, they play games. Some kids check in, they go over to the yoga room, depending on what their schedule looks like. We have 4 different swim times a day, 4 different lunch times a day. So the kids are constantly moving. They're inside, they're outside, they're up in the main club, they're in the camp building. They are just like all over the place. And it is really like go, go, go. On certain days, you know, they're checking in, they're getting right on a bus, heading to field trips. So the day, really depending on what the camp that you're in, you are really all over the place. Like the art camps, they check in, they go to swim, they come back, they usually do like their activity for a chunk of the day, then they head to lunch, then they're active for the second half of the day. Our NACster camper, every day is like a different theme. Our typical day camp schedule, they check in, they play games, they do their activity of the day depending on the theme. They go to the pool, they go to lunch, they go to the main building. I mean, it's really just constant go, go, go. And it's all around a ton of fun for the kids, because, you know, they're constantly moving, seeing different settings, doing different activities, being in different scenery really helps their brains, you know, keep going for the day.
Yeah, and you know, idle hands are the devil's playground. So you know, you got to keep them off the streets and out of trouble, and you got to keep them really busy. I mean, so your since you do week camps, like what would be your highest enrollment in 1 week that you've had?
So I think we had 504 kids last year was our highest week that we had, which was absolutely incredible. And like Sam said, it's like, it is such a beautiful, it's almost like an orchestra. Like it is a beautiful puzzle. And not only do we map this out a week in advance. So we have a management team that consists of probably 8 staff at this point, which is amazing. We plan that out. and it's so cool to like watch, and it's so seamless. Like the best part is like the members will be like, we don't even know you have this many kids because we don't even like see them. Like over the years, we've realized like field trips can't just be one day a week. They need to be 4 days a week. So there's always space. And that's the biggest thing, right? Like kids need a place, a home, and they also need an area to be playing. When we have that many kids, it's super important that we're never almost like overlapping, that there's always room for these kids to get their energy out, do a craft, something, you know, so it's just a lot of planning, a lot of organizing, but I mean, I feel like we've got it down, you know?
I have to say, I loved your beautiful puzzle. It's a beautiful puzzle. And, you know, it's a million different pieces, and, you know, they can all kind of fit in different ways, but once you get, you know, however works for you, but it's a beautiful puzzle. So girls, did you guys go to camp? What's your camp? What's your background?
So I went to camp my entire life. I went to the same camp for 17 years. And I also went with my mom and my brother and my sister every day in a big white van full of 16 children. So that's kind of how I ended up in the position that I'm in now. Like growing up through camp, you know, camp gave me my best friends and like an unlimited amount of good memories. Right. So that's how I ended up where I am. I just want to do that for all these children. I want them to have the experiences and friendships that camp gave me. Camp was an experience that I will be like eternally grateful for, especially going with my family. Like I'm getting married in a month. My maid of honor I met at camp when I was 3. Right.
So did you go to sleepaway or like a day camp with your family?
No, I went to a day camp in Bucks County as well.
Okay. And your parents worked there and like you went with them? Wow. Yeah.
Well, my sister went a little bit before I started. And then once I started is when my mom started. And then my brother came along, and we all, like, she drove this big white massive camp, and we would pick up all these children. It was just like, we always say, like, you live 9 months for 3. Like as soon as camp ends, we were like counting down the days until it started. And it's like hard to explain. It's just such a beautiful like experience for these children to have. Cause I mean, camp can literally give you everything: best friends, confidence. It's good for your mental health. I'm like literally everything. And camp did really help like make me the person I am. So I'm just very grateful to be in a position where I can now provide this for kids in my adult life.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a mom, I can relate like to your mom. As a mom, you know, I go to sleepaway camp with my kids, and to be able to, you know, all these parents send their kids, they don't get to see it. And I get to see it, and to be able to see it, I have such a feeling of even like gratitude and appreciation to be able to, you know, see it from afar. You know, I'm not in it to win it with my own kids, but it's really such a gift. So that's so great that you are back. And you know, camp is so life-changing, not even for campers, but also for staff. You know, when I sit down with my staff, I had 12 counselors in my division this year. And, you know, I sit down with them before the kids come, because we have the same kids for 7 weeks. And, you know, I said, this is going to be life-changing for you. You know, I want to support you in this experience, because you will not be the same person when you left the staff. You know, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to want to go home, you're going to wish you never had to leave. And I really, in our pre-conversation with you, I really love the focus that you guys spend on mental health or awareness for your staff, because being with kids all day can be a little stressful and cause a little bit of anxiety. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So my passion, I didn't go to camp. I went to a place called Playground, but my passion stems from always wanting to work with kids. I thought I was going to be a teacher when I grew up, and I could only say that like working at camp is more than I would have ever expected. I'm touching way more lives than I would have in a classroom. So it has been a true blessing to be able to work at camp. And I also love mentoring staff. So when we ran camp during COVID. Like we ran it through the pandemic. We never stopped. And that was probably the time when we realized most, like, mental health is a really big issue. Like kids have been not able to see people for a little bit now. Staff had to leave college. They couldn't see their friends anymore. And we really made an initiative over the past 2 years to incorporate mental health with our staff and our campers. So what that looks like for us is we do a 3-day intensive training. It's like all day training. Our philosophy is I do, we do, you do. So the goal is that we're instilling this mindset in them so it'll trickle down to the kids. But some of the things that we'll do is give them tools for their toolbox. So we created cozy corners. This past summer, we hired a support counselor to walk around. So some of the biggest pain points during COVID were that the staff wasn't able to help those kids that were having big emotions, because we are in a ratio where sometimes the staff can't walk away with that one child, right? So we provide them tools like emotional charts, a cozy corner, support staff. Our entire management team is trained on like emotional support as well. We also dive in deeper of like understanding our staff's love languages. So I sent out quizzes to them and asked them to take the love language as if they were in a work setting. So think of it as a work setting. So my 2 top love languages are words of affirmations and acts of service. Sam's is
quality time and acts of service.
The fascinating piece of doing this experiment with our staff was that my ideas of what that looks like for me were completely different than what that looks like for other staff. So me, even physical touch is like a hug. But when I asked staff, they said I would want a hug from a child if I look upset. Physical touch looks like me for a high five. If you're walking by, giving me a high five, like that hypes me up, right? Words of affirmation it was interesting. They were like, I want constructive criticism. I need that. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, right? Some of the staff said, I'll never ask you for help, but I will want help. Whoa, I was mind blown. I was like, do me a favor. If I specifically ask you for help, please tell me, because I'm going to keep it moving. But it was so beautiful. And we wore those love language stickers on our name tags, so that as our management team walked around, they knew how to best support our staff in times of needs, and they knew how to support each other, right? And we didn't do the love languages with the kids, but it teaches staff to realize, hey, everyone is very different.
Right.
We all need something slightly different. So the way that I work with a child, one child is different than I work with another child. And also maybe if like a child does need physical touch, and that is not on my top love languages, I lied. I like physical touch. Sam wouldn't. So if a kid needs a little bit more nurturing, that I'm your girl. If they want to be hyped up in words of affirmation, Sam is all about that. Like she can do that. And it was such a beautiful experience to watch that throughout the staff, and they utilize those tools. And then we have continued education during summer as well. So we meet every week on Tuesdays. Monday's like a busy day, obviously. And with our unique camp, you get different kids every week. So another could be challenge, could be, because you don't get the same consistent thing. So one week your dynamic of the group is one way, and the next week it's different. So on Tuesdays, we always talk about, hey, what are our glows and grows this week, right? Not like what's highs and lows, like glows and grows. Like how are we gonna, what can we support you in more? And so we taught them how to like de-escalate a child, and that was one of our professional developments over the summer. And our support counselor had taught that, which was really.
That's incredible. How much, do you have, how much of your staff returns year after year? I mean, I'm sure they're younger, so
it'll depend. Like last year, it was a newer staff, because our staff will roughly stay like probably 2 to 4 years.
Okay.
A lot of them are college, and with COVID, we only did 18 and older. So a lot of our staff was graduating, but I would say most of our staff does stay, to the point where even if they're not working for us, they come and do a visit because they miss the kids and they miss the staff.
Right.
And I think we provide a unique opportunity. Like, I want to say, how many staff do you think changed their careers because of this at this point?
Probably 5 to 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We switched their majors.
Yeah. So that they could continue, like have summers off, like continue to work with camp, or you just instilled a love of children in them, or lit that fire that they want to go into education?
It was more that, like the one staff that I can think of, he had stopped going to school for education, and he was like, hey, Bree and Sam, I just want to let you know, like I decided to go back to college because I absolutely love this. We had a business major. He switched his entire career. He kept changing his majors. He was in business, and he was like, I absolutely love children. Now he's going to be like a middle school teacher. We had like a younger staff email us and say, I was so anxious because I had to pick a major leading into college, and like having kids show up every day and tell me I'm making a difference in their lives, like I'm getting chills, like we make a difference. And that's what we say to them. When we have staff training, it's like, you make a difference. You are, regardless if you notice it or not, you are changing these kids' lives. And like that just projects them. Like it is just, we call it our little bubble.
Yeah.
Like it's a bubble of love over there. And it's a beautiful thing. It's just amazing.
That's incredible. It also, I think, says a lot about the quality of your program that you're running, you know, that you have staff, or that you're changing the lives of these staff individuals too. I mean, you're running, like you said, it's a beautiful puzzle. It's a well-oiled machine, you know, and if they were coming into a situation that was like not so great run, sometimes it doesn't matter how great their experience was, their kids, if the organization itself isn't great, they'd be like, you know, hightailing it out of there. So hats off to you. Best youth summer camp in Bucks County. Well-oiled machine, like so great. So if you could, what do you think, like as from the campers, go get a little bit more camper centric again. What is like the thing that they look forward to the most about coming to camp? Is there like one activity, one thing? I know they're kind of, you know, maybe only for the week, but is there just one part that's like, this is our favorite?
Our water park is definitely a big aspect for the kids who are able to swim. We have like 40-foot tall water slides, the lazy river, tubes. We have a whole like amenity zero entry pool, a splash pad. So a lot of the kids, I mean, you drive by here and you see these massive water slides, and that's like, they're like, I'm sold. That's where I'm gonna go. I want to play there all summer long. The field trips are another big thing for our NACster camp. I mean, we take them to all the local like hot, cool places, trampoline parks, local farms, mini golfing, bowling, like all the fun stuff to do for them. So that's another big thing that draws people. I mean, we take 3-year-olds mini golfing and bowling. Like, a lot of camps don't do that. So
I bow down to you. Okay. I'm hurting cats at the bowling alley,
literally.
But
that's definitely the big things that they are like, I can't wait for field trip day, or like, when's it swim time?
Heck, you're up north. So, you know, I'm in South Florida. We all have pools. So like, you know, yay, water slides are great. But for up there, you know, that's a novelty. I mean, it's getting cold up there, right? So those, you don't get those kinds of amenities year round. Is there a official Camp NAC song?
We haven't created a song yet. No.
All right. So I'm giving you some homework, girls, some summer 2023 homework is you need to create a Camp NAC song. Let's build a little tradition in history. Camp NAC song. Make it a contest.
I think the closest thing we have is our tiny cheer camp. They go, we are Camp NAC, and they're 3 to 5-year-olds with little pom-poms.
All right, so do it again. Together.
We are Camp NAC.
And then they wave.
And then they go, yeah.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
So
everyone like melts.
We do that on color games. So on the last day of color games, we have our tiny cheer camp give a little cheer, our older cheer camp give a cheer, and then we break. We do chants for the kids, each color, and then our staff does dances against each other. So color games,
that gets competitive.
Color games is pretty serious too.
So does that happen once during the summer, color games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you would be signing up specifically for like color games camp.
Yeah.
Like they know so it's like a color war kind of thing. Oh, that's very fun. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So they know what they're getting into. All right, guys, what about favorite game? Favorite game at camp?
Oh, they love Gaga here. Gaga, forkball, dodgeball. I mean, those kids could play those games for hours
till their knuckles bleed. Right? Gaga, bloody Gaga knuckles.
I have scars on my knuckles from playing Gaga as a camper. It's like a whole thing.
It's Gaga came. I'm before Gaga time. Okay, I'm a little older than you girls, but I've witnessed many bloody knuckles and see these kids come to camp with their gloves. You know, now you gotta have the Gaga gloves to play the sport. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I have a favorite camp game. All right. And this is how we're getting close to the end of the podcast. So we're going to end with my favorite camp game called the 7-second challenge. Ladies, are you ready to play? Are you familiar?
No.
with the 7-second challenge. All right, girls, I'm going to give you a set of challenges and you will have 7 seconds to complete them. Are you ready?
Born ready.
Okay, I love it. Yeah.
I'm like more of like, can you explain a little bit more kind of girl?
All right. So yeah, Sam is your girl. She's going to be the lead. All right. So you have 7 seconds to create a new word and define it. Go.
My first word that came to my mind was Cucamonga. I don't know what that means.
So make it up. What does it mean?
What does it mean? Am I making it up?
Well, maybe we say like Cucamonga to our staff if their attitudes aren't that great, and I'll just be like, Cucamonga means like, hey, check yourselves, and they don't really know. None of the kids would know. Hey, boom.
Cucamonga.
Cucamonga.
There you go. We said actually, work hard, play hard to our management team. That was our key to know. If we were in a place of, dishevelment, all I had to look at someone and say is like, I'm a winker, so I'd probably wink and say, work hard, play hard. And they would know.
Right.
All right, maybe let me take a 5-minute pause and walk away. But let's go. Cucamonga it is, 2023.
Cucamonga.
Hey, I want to go back real quick, as I meant to ask you. When we were talking about mental health, you had said something like, what are the things that you say? Like, I do, we do, you go. So say it again. What is it?
I do, we do, you do. That's just how we train our staff. So our management team will do everything for them. I'm talking about during staff training, we line them up. We're counting them. We're high-fiving them. We're doing everything. We're doing a whole check-in process. They get their name tags. They get their wristbands. We check off lunch. The second day, we're doing it together. And the third day, our new staff is doing it for our veterans. So we found that the staff really learned best that they didn't like to be put in settings where they weren't taught fully. So to help support them in that was that we walked them through. So even like new staff, they were like shadowing for that first week. And then I did trainings throughout the summer. I would say probably at least 5 trainings where I sat down for 3 hours with them to go through everything again.
Because we forget, like we have our camp speak. You've been working at camp for how many years? I've been going to my camp. Sam grew up. So like there's a camp language. And when new people come, you forget, right? And you just start talking like they know the language and you don't. So is there a word like a Camp NAC word that only someone like working in Camp NAC would know?
I think NACster. I mean, NACster is like one of our camps. I think that's teams, like,
but when we like, if I said like, oh, do you want to be in NACster camp? Like my mind thinks like constantly moving and the kids are crazy and we are doing this, and this. And like, if I just said like, oh, I'm going to Camp NACster, you'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So like someone is a NACster, or do you have like a name for your, okay. Yeah. Okay. So wait, what is like the NAC, like the NACster is like specific, like one of your specific camps, right? With like,
NACsters are more designed. So when we explain it to families and like, can you only imagine like what our phone calls are for new parents? It's incredible. NACsters designed to be broken up more by age group. So by group. So 3 to 4-year-olds are together, 5-year-olds are together, 6-year-olds. And that's a nice transition for kids that just want to, like, if I am my first time camper, it is go into like the setting of like inside outside for like your busy bees, but more of like, if me and Sam were in the same grade, I was a kid that would want to be with kids just my age versus kids from like 6 to 12 in one.
Right.
Like I was a little bit more shy, a little bit more introverted as a child. So we designed it that they're like kind of with their grade. And a lot of times the kids will come with friends and we'll just make an attention note, because keep in mind with how many kids we have, if there's one group of 5-year-old group, there's 3 5-year-old groups. So, but NACsters, like we say, go. They're just constantly moving and they go on field trips. Versus like our specialty camps, they have a classroom. So they'll primarily be in there more of the time. NACster, we do like little suns on our brochure to indicate outside time. They'll get a little bit more outside time versus cooking. Going to be in a studio upstairs. They're cooking their lunch. They're cooking their snack. It's a different feel. It's for different children. The kid that wants to be up and moving should probably not do cooking camp. I would recommend 1 week. Get your feel, get your taste. Yeah, like if you want to explore it because you like cooking, amazing. However, we do every day of NACster has a different theme. So we put like cooking for a theme. So it's more like a traditional day camp where they're getting an exposure to all of the acts. They get to do all of it.
Yes.
Love that. Ladies, I can't thank you enough for being on our first episode of season 2. Woo! Yay, awesome. Guys, if you live in Pennsylvania, are you in the Bucks County area? I just want to say, fun fact, I grew up, my grandparents had a second home in Bucks County in New Hope, so I'm a little familiar. Holds a lot of special memories going up there, but if you live in Bucks County and you are looking for a day camp for your kid, enrollment starts in January, is that right?
That's
Yes.
correct.
Yay! And you can find out more about Camp NAC online at campnac.com. And, you can always watch our podcast again. But thanks, guys, for coming. Thanks for joining me here in the HC. And I look forward to seeing you here next time at my camp. I'll save a s'more for you. Yeah.
Yay, thank you.
Spread the love.
Awesome.
Take a moment to shine.